up, Tzu Chi revisits阜寧, China to ensure tornado victims are recovering well. In Taiwan, we get to know a community in Kaohsiung that doesn't participate in traditional Pudu rituals. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee-Shioda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in China. In July, heavy rain near the Yangtze River Basin caused severe flooding to nearby cities, especially in Hubei's Shajiang district. Though it's been almost a month, Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to offer their support, most recently visiting Shanpo and Pengtang village. As soon as Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at the emergency shelter, residents gather at the plaza waiting for them. Since the flooding in July, this is the 7th time Tzu Chi volunteers have visited.
Shanpo Lake. Let's build a recycling point here. We can donate the funds from selling the recyclables. Wouldn't that be a great idea?
This idea was immediately actualized. Everyone brought out their bottles, cans, and paper to recycle. Even a 6-year-old child wanted in on the sorting action. What was more touching for the volunteers was that when the residents received their consolation cash, one resident immediately donated some money back to Tzu Chi. It's love that has been reciprocated. Meanwhile, at Pengtang village, volunteers especially came to visit these disaster victims during lunch to hold an aid distribution, as they know fresh vegetables have been hard to come by since the flooding occurred. Yang Wenbao got on stage twice just to say this. The residents are no longer living in the shadow of despair. At the emergency shelter, there is hope for a better tomorrow, as well as gratitude for all the love that is going around. Staying in China, on June 23rd, northern Jiangsu province experienced a tornado, hail, and heavy rain. These 3 natural disasters took 98 lives in Yancheng City. Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to show their care, which has inspired others to do the same.
50 days after the deadly tornado disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers once again visited Funin's Kongdang village to ensure that residents are on the right track to rebuilding. They visited needy families and listened carefully to updates about their living conditions.
He said that this was when he was 3岁的时候 3岁 3岁的时候 所以那是火烧到火烧伤了后面还要做不知道啦就要看它长得什么样子
Today's visit by Tzu Chi volunteers is to learn more about local people. Kong Fangjie is the son of the local cadre leader of this village. He not only collects money in his coin bank, but also serves as a driver, taking around these Tzu Chi volunteers.
Tzu Chi has traveled the whole world and is the largest Chinese charitable organization, which has led to people's admiration, as it doesn't preach or talk about politics. I now want to influence others and help Funing. At the least, I can be a seed to help Tzu Chi germinate.
In addition to caring for local folks, Tzu Chi volunteers also brought laughter and joy to the elderly living in apartments. Although it was the first time many had met, it took on the feeling of becoming one large family.
After the storm, many charities from all over the country came, but the one that came at the beginning and stayed to the end was Tzu Chi. It was the only charity that stayed.
While Funing is hoping to rebuild after the tornado, many have been inspired by the charitable works of Tzu Chi and pledged to keep doing good works and become a seed for this charity to germinate in their hometown.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital has, for the past 3 decades, been upholding its mission of providing health care for the people. This commitment has also been spread internationally, as in 1993, the hospital established a bone marrow stem cell center. Also, the hospital has aided those suffering from rare disorders, such as one young girl who was born with congenital knee hyperextension.
Tian Tuanzi's disease, congenital knee hyperextension, is quite rare, with only 2 known cases in the world. In 2014, she turned 26 and had yet to stand on her own 2 feet. As it would turn out, that year would also be a big turning point in her life.
我们要做分别100。
We needed to do a corrective action of 130 to 160 degrees, respectively. This is a considerable margin of corrective general orthopedic surgery. Probably no one has done so much corrective action.
After 7 different procedures by Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's orthopedic surgical team, her knees were corrected. To help Tuanzi get through the grueling rehabilitation, she focuses on her dream of walking.
看到自己的双脚、膝盖变直了。
Seeing my legs straighten was something that I really couldn't believe would happen. It was just like a dream. After 26 years, I now have the chance to stand up on my own 2 feet.
A pair of conjoined twins from the Philippines arrived at Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital on June 28, 2003. The surgery was the first successful separation of conjoined twins, leading them to enjoy a better life. It also helped inaugurate the international medical services of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital.
来自世界16国。
From 2011 to 2016, a total of 393 cases originating from some 16 countries have been managed over the past 5 to 6 years.
为了挽救宝贵生命，我愿意把骨髓相赠。
Your blood is constantly circulating in my body. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
From Vietnam, suffering from leukemia is brain surgeon Huang Qingjun, who was able to use Tzu Chi stem cells database to find a suitable donor, and after the transplant, his health has been restored. Back in 1993, the Tzu Chi Foundation established a marrow database. This was of great help to leukemia sufferer Wan Wenling.
National marrow databases are all interlinked so that if we set up a marrow bank, then Chinese people around the world can benefit.
把这种骨髓移植的门要把它打开，打开这一扇门，也就是打开我们人的心，要让大家知道，救人一命，不损己身。
Tzu Chi Stem Cell Center was established 23 years ago. As of July 2016, bone marrow and peripheral blood stem cells have helped more than 4,300 people, including 2,700 cross-border cases, which is more than half of the total cases, which have benefited those in 30 different countries.
以台湾的2300万的人口来讲，我们有。
The 23 million people of Taiwan have some 410,000 donors, which ranks it 5th in the world in regards to the number of stem cell donors.
Providing healthcare to the people and safeguarding human life has been the guiding mission for the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital for 3 decades.
医疗呢，就
Our medical team hopes to follow the footsteps of the master and continually make progressive medical advances.
This medical team truly seeks to spread its love and charity without borders.
Since its establishment 9 years ago, DaAi TV Indonesia has been holding the Great Love Illuminates the World charity concert each year. Let's take a look at this year's latest concert.
An earnest woman is the most beautiful. Taiwanese female singer Kaohsiung is here in Indonesia attending the Great Love Illuminates the World charity concert, singing the theme song from a DaAi drama she starred in. An Indonesia male singer, Marcel Saihan, has also been invited to sing at this event, which is themed sincerity and love. With Buddhist principles as its foundation, for the past 9 years, DaAi TV Indonesia has been dedicated to broadcasting educational programs. Its participation in public service advertising competitions has also garnered recognition.
Ya, kita pertama bersyukur kepada Tuhan Yang Maha Esa.
First, I'd like to thank God. Second, I want to express gratitude to my friends because they have been very helpful. Since this is a team effort, we hope this video will inspire more people. Through this video, we can at least share our experiences of great love with other people.
Kita bisa sedikit membagi pengalaman kita tentang cinta kasih.
Luar biasa, saya ucapkan selamat kepada DaAi TV.
It's incredible. I appreciate DaAi TV for broadcasting public service advertising. This is a great example for other TV stations as well as residents.
This annual charity concert is an important event for DaAi TV Indonesia, as it hopes to continue promoting positive ideals and be a force of goodness in society.
In Taiwan, the 7th lunar month is a time for businesses to pray with offerings and burn joss paper, hoping ghosts will help their business. The president of one construction company in Taichung stopped doing this practice after she joined Tzu Chi. She now instead donates the money, which would have been used to buy offerings, to help the needy.
Businesses always place a lot of offerings at the 7th lunar month to help their businesses. Wei Yuzhen, president of one construction company, said that her company would once put forward as many offerings as possible. After she joined Tzu Chi, she realized she had caused a lot of bad karma.
After I joined Tzu Chi, I realized I had caused a lot of bad karma, such as polluting our air.
Her staff became nervous when they knew they had to prepare for annual offerings.
Because we had to buy a lot of things and burn joss paper money, the temperature was very hot, but we had to burn the money.
After the president joined Tzu Chi 5 years ago, her company has stopped doing this. They donate the budget for buying the offerings to help needy people.
We donated the money for buying offerings to charity groups. Then the suffering people can really receive help.
She made this big change for her company. She also asked people in community not to burn joss paper money. Not burning joss paper money can reduce air pollution. Therefore, we do not need to pray with a lot of offerings or joss paper money. Praying with sincerity is good enough.
There is a Chinese idiom which goes, "To save a life is more meritorious than building a 7th-floor pagoda." Since 1979, Tzu Chi volunteer Po Ki-sen from Malacca, Malaysia, has been donating blood, saving 92 lives in the past 37 years. Po says he never burns joss paper to seek peace and safety. Instead, he believes that with the right views and beliefs, one needn't be afraid.
The entire truck overturned into the river. Luckily, I wasn't trapped. If I were, I wouldn't have made it. I managed to swim out.
Truck driving is considered a dangerous job, especially for the Chinese, come the 7th lunar month. But for driver Po Ki-sen, he doesn't burn joss paper to pray for peace and safety.
The money spent on buying joss paper should be used on helping people in need. We accumulate more merit this way.
In the past 37 years, Po's donated blood has helped save as many as 92 people. Simply hoping to help others in need, Po never imagined that his selflessness has kept him safe from harm on several occasions.
I've had 3 or 4 near-death experiences. I was very lucky, and I think it's because I've been doing good deeds along the way.
After Po joined Tzu Chi Malacca chapter in 1998, his willingness to help others only grew. Wherever help was needed in the organization, he will always reach out with a helping hand.
He sees our care recipients as his own family. If there is anyone in need, he will always go to them. He never says no. I truly look up to him.
Inspired by her husband's compassion, Tai Yuanhua prepares food for care recipients on a daily basis.
I feel bad for him. He has nothing to eat or no money to buy food or vegetables. He eats plain rice every day.
Our master says before attaining Buddhahood, we should first create good karmic affinities with others. It's a blessing to be able to help others.
Po believes that with the right values and beliefs, one needn't be afraid and will be safe from harm. And those who help others are blessed. Turning our camera back to Taiwan, in Youchang, Kaohsiung, the community there has been abstaining from traditional Pudu rituals for the mid-7th lunar month festival for the last 87 years. This community is something of an anomaly in Taiwan, as burning joss paper and making meat offerings to the gods and ghosts is a common practice everywhere else. We'll make a visit to the community and hear their story.
The mid-7th lunar month festival, or Pudu, is always a time to see businesses and homes making offerings and burning joss paper for the hungry ghosts. But in the Youchang district of Kaohsiung, the ritual offerings have not occurred for 87 years. This senior has never even once in his life taken part in the Pudu rituals.
Our local temple has never held a Pudu ceremony. At my house, we would get a whooping if we participated.
The tradition of Pudu has been prohibited in this community since 1929 by decision of the Yuan Shui Temple.
The Lord of Yuan Shui Temple made the decree to stop practicing the Pudu rituals and switch to spring and autumn festivals instead.
Although it has been custom for a long time now, when the decree was first made, there was a lot of resistance from the farming community of Youchang.
Throughout the 7th lunar month, there are still 5 mediums working day and night to safeguard the community. After the month passes peacefully, people are always thankful. Many want to reinstitute the Pudu tradition for the month.
The Yuan Shui Temple is the religious center of Youchang district. When the pronouncement was made, 3 other local temples responded and accepted. Over time, the ritual offerings of Pudu were shifted to 2 different festivals, one in the spring and one in the autumn. For those, people who cannot make private offerings to their ancestors at home can contribute flowers or fruit to the temples.
Back in the days of the war, the only thing people could do was pray to the gods, but our community was always peaceful. Even when we didn't pray, it was still peaceful.
In 1963, the temple prohibited burning joss money inside the temple, and the practice of making animal sacrifice stopped long ago. The changes have had a positive impact on the air in the community.
Burning the joss paper is bad for the environment as it will create particulates that will pollute the air, lots of CO2 and ash. It will also release particles known as PM 2.5, which are bad for people's lungs. On average, every gram of joss paper that is burned will emit 34.6 milligrams of particulate pollutants.
According to data, there are about 30,000 households in Youchang. If every household burned 1 kilogram of joss paper, that would be 1.02 kilograms of particulate pollutants released into the atmosphere. Admirably, Youchang hasn't been burning joss paper for 87 years. Now imagine if the rest of Taiwan could follow Youchang's example by stopping such needless air pollution.
Staying in Kaohsiung's Youchang, we follow local Tzu Chi volunteers as they seize the opportunity to promote vegetarianism to these residents.
During the 7th lunar month, traditionally every household prays and performs various rituals.
We'd pray and perform rituals at the beginning of the month, then during the middle of the month, and again at the end. It lasted the entire month.
Although Youchang community is situated next to Zuoying district, the customs observed during Pudu festival in both areas varies drastically.
Here we don't leave food on tables outside our homes, and we worship the ancestors during the 6th lunar month. These are the customs here, so we just follow accordingly.
Mrs. Huang has kept this flyer for 10 years. When her family first moved to Youchang, she received this flyer from her neighbors, reminding them that there is to be no ancestor worship and ritualistic practices. Just like Mrs. Huang adjusted to the local practice, so did Li Huizi.
I placed a table with offerings outside, but when I saw no one else was doing it, I quickly moved my table inside. Afterwards, I burned joss paper. I had to do it really quickly since no one else was doing it either. I felt like an outsider.
Unaware of local customs, Li soon realized her error of judgment.
I realized that it's costly and time-consuming. Also, burning joss paper just to uphold superstitious practices actually causes environmental pollution.
Some worshippers may think that burning incense and joss paper is a show of great sincerity. However, some simple offerings of flowers and fruits is just as sufficient.
When I was in high school, a friend of mine invited me over to his house to eat the offerings that were used during Pudu. I turned around and asked him what Pudu was. He made fun of me for not knowing what Pudu is. I told him I don't know what it is because we don't observe the occasion. Only then did I realize that we are the only district that does not observe Pudu.
Born and raised in Youchang, it wasn't until high school that Mr. Yang realized just how different his community is. Local Tzu Chi volunteers also have a mission here. With a common goal to protect the planet, Tzu Chi volunteers and the local borough head hope to see more people accept vegetarianism by seeing its health benefits.
We want to encourage residents to go meatless a few days a week or once a day so that they can gradually embrace vegetarianism.
Dietitians recommend a gradual transition towards vegetarianism in conjunction with a balanced diet. By making the right food choice, we can ensure our own health and the health of our planet.
Grandma Chen Cho is known for running a youth home in Pudu. The home takes children that are referred to her by the courts. Even what's more remarkable is that she has beaten 7 kinds of cancer. She also says that a vegetarian diet plus exercise has led her to reach the age of 85 with terrific physical strength.
Grandma Chenjo is quite active and lively. She says her morning routine includes 5 minutes of exercise and drinking a glass of warm water as soon as she gets up. She absolutely stays away from drinking anything cold.
People need to take care of their own health. First of all, don't eat too much and don't eat food that is too rich. I often say that just eating rice is enough, and wearing enough clothes to keep you warm is all you need, as clothing doesn't seem to be too nice.
Grandma Chenjo's lifelong effort has been founding and running this youth home for juveniles referred by the courts. She carefully attends to each child and frequently gets visitors from afar.
I see people younger than me who are worse off physically.
At the age of 85, Grandma Chenjo has already battled 7 kinds of cancer.
From my womb to my stomach, throat, nose, and even bones, if we have a grateful heart, we will be happy.
Grandma Chenjo's battle with cancer has led to admiration from friends and family, some who have known her for 20 years.
This cancer is also very strange, with some people being zealous and attacking the disease and are able to gradually overcome it. Before, one required lots of chemotherapy, but not anymore.
Grandma Chenjo has been a vegetarian for many decades, with most of the vegetables she eats are those that she planted herself.
I don't eat any pesticides. This food is truly organic.
If one adds enough protein, vegetarians won't lack any nutrition.
Soybeans, tofu, dried tofu, and soybean products can be categorized alongside meat, eggs, and milk. So we just need one food from this category to provide enough nutrition or the nutritional equivalent.
Grandma Chenjo said that even if there's pain, she is grateful for the chance to live, as a positive attitude is truly the only way to beat cancer.
In the United States, 8 young Tzu won recognition for their dedication to volunteerism. Thanks to these altruistic young people, that love continues to make the world go round. That's all the time we have for this program today. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.